So you want to grow a beard, eh? One mistake with a trimmer and 2.5 months worth of growth are gone. Growth and trimming and stuff, and this is kind of what I get for not having access to a salon for, I don't know how long. Sarah's salon girls have just been incredibly wonderful to me, so without the benefit of their expertise, here I am, down to not much. I mean, the ink on that shave just looks sick. But that's just me loving my artists and the work they do. Yeah, man. So here we are, and it's Wednesday, and I'm just touching base. I'm reading today about faith, and for myself personally, faith wasn't a hard leap to make. I had grown up Roman Catholic, and eventually, even before sobriety found me and stuck with me, I had wandered around with other friends to various denominations, enjoyed services in their churches, and was always kind of on the search, if you will. So faith for me wasn't a big leap. That noted, a lot of people obviously struggle with it. To that end, our founders in Alcoholics Anonymous were brilliant enough to recognize some of the failures of those earlier groups, and with their own efforts removed the need for faith in a specific named deity, if you will. And by removing that and only emphasizing the need for a connection to a power greater than ourselves, Alcoholics Anonymous took off. For most of us, it's not hard. It's not hard to, even if we're struggling with the religiosity, if you will, of the whole idea. If we're struggling with that religiosity, we can make the connection to alcohol or whatever substance you're struggling with, to be more precise, that had power over us and left us weak and in many cases decimated as human beings. The destruction of our life, our relationships, our jobs, our security, that old adage, 3 things await us all: jail, institutions, and death. And in many cases, we come to the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous, or we come to the doors of recovery, if you will, having experienced all but one. This is the power that these things, in my case alcohol, have over us. So to switch from that recognition, okay, I was completely powerless to these things that had power over me, I must then recognize that there is a power greater than me and endeavor to work toward that relationship. The stretch isn't that difficult for many of us, right? Still, there are those that, buck at the idea simply because the word God is used or faith is used. And that stubbornness is more often than not the downfall, right? In my own case, let me get back to the idea that faith wasn't a hard jump to make. And to that end, I think I've had and enjoyed incredible success in recovery. My faith in God, as I understand God, only set me loose on a path of discovery to engage my higher power at any level that was available to me, spiritually, emotionally, through meditative practice, even physically. allowing myself to engage in meditation for significant amounts of time, and challenging my body to do that and to commit to those positions for meditation. I encourage each and every person listening today to maybe revisit that idea, especially if you're struggling. And if you're not struggling, explore the depth available to you of your spiritual connection, for lack of a better term. I'll stick with that. If you are struggling, maybe revisit it. Maybe go back to the beginning of the video and kind of consider how these things certainly had power over you, right? How you had become powerless to these things, these behaviors, to these substances that you're struggling with, that you're continually going back to. We revisit the idea of insanity. Insanity being, the idea that you go back to negative behaviors expecting different results, right? We constantly do these things. And even in parenting, I see it in my children, right? You constantly see them heading back down that road expecting a different result. That insanity, that powerlessness to these behaviors. If without question we find ourselves powerless, then indeed there's a power greater than ourselves. And in that, we can find freedom. That's a conversation I would love to just beat up, specifically in our current political climate here in Canada. I've tried diligently to express to friends and people that I know that if you're shaking your fist at some other entity, a government entity, for example, if you're shaking your fist at some other entity demanding freedom, you have no concept of what actual freedom really is. Freedom that's been promised to us. Freedom that is available to each and every person on this planet, bar none. Freedom is available, and it's not at the hands of some government body. I enjoy it. The knowledge of freedom by itself is a life-changing epiphany that I wish for each and every one of you. So I'm going to wrap it up there and hit the stop button. And thank you again. I had a comment on Twitter, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that input. I'm going to choke back some tears today because that's exactly what I hope for. Some critique, some input, some idea that, hey man, you're doing the right thing. You can do it better by doing this. So please drop a comment. Let me know what I'm doing. Let me know how I'm doing. And reach out, man. I would love to connect with more people. Again, Instagram, it's a private account, so I would vet you quickly and connect that way. Twitter is always available. Here on YouTube, it's available as well. And I would love to connect, man. So thanks again, guys, if you're tuning in. Thanks for being here, man. Thank you to the universe around me for all this wonderful technology. I'm not going to say thank you to Gillette today because they did me dirty. I lost 2.5 months of growth, man. Hitting the button, saying goodbye, and telling you and reminding you it works if we work it, friends, one day at a time. Take care, man. I'm cheering every one of you on, man. Love you. Take care.